Hello everyone. Today I want to review a novel. The name is White Nights by Fyodor Dostoevsky. At first, I was curious because I saw reviews on Goodreads. Many say that White Nights was unique, not just an ordinary love story, but also very melancholic and poetic. From there, I became curious as to why such a teen novel could leave such a deep impression on so many people. Especially since the author Fyodor Dostoevsky is often referred to as a Russian literary legend, one of the great names in the world of literature. They say that if you want to start exploring his heavy and philosophical works, the best place to start is White Nights. I was curious, was that really true? So I finally tried reading it, and it turned out to be a much more emotional experience than I had imagined. Okay, when I started reading, my first impression was that the atmosphere was poetic and melancholic at the same time. Dostoevsky describes the white nights in St. Petersburg, summer nights when the sky is never completely dark, with beautiful noons, but at the same time full of loneliness. I am, as a reader, I immediately felt the loneliness of the main character, a young man without a name, who lives in a fantasy world and often feels alienated from real life. Then suddenly he meets Nastenka, a simple girl who is also lonely. From that brief encounter, the story unfolds with conversations, hopes, and warmth that make me believe that the main character has finally found a soulmate. But are you sure? For me, there are several parts that really stand out. First is about the nightly conversation between the man and Nastenka. In just 4 nights, the relationship develops from mere conversation partners to becoming very close emotionally. The second one is the contrast between imagination and reality. The man is accustomed to living in his fantasy, building a world full of hope, while Nastenka is still tied to her lover, another man. And then, from this, I began to realize that their story might not be as simple as it seemed. I think like that. And the third, at last, it's about the climax. The climax is heartbreaking. When Nastenka finally returns to the man she has always loved, leaving the main character alone. Still leaving the main character alone. And for me, that moment was emotionally devastating because it was not only love that failed, but also dreams and hopes that collapsed in an instant. From this story, I felt how Dostoevsky honestly portrayed the human soul. White Nights is not a happy love story, but rather about loneliness that briefly finds light, then fades again. The main character represents many people who live in fantasy, who desperately want to be loved, but must learn to accept the bitter reality. This made me realize that even a short-lived love that doesn't end happily can give great meaning to life. A brief encounter can change a person, even if it ultimately leaves only pain. And that is the beauty and pain of White Nights. It is honest, fragile, and very human. I think this story is great for me, and after closing this book, I felt a mixture of warmth and sadness. Warm because there are parts where a loneliness of two people can meet and feel each other, but unfortunately, it's also sadness because it all ends so quickly and the main character must return to his loneliness because Nastenka, she leaves the main character. And yeah, its simplicity is what makes this story so memorable, so short, but also so full of feeling. I really amazed with this story, short but full of feeling. So that's my review of White Nights by Fyodor Dostoevsky from my perspective actually. It's a short novel I think that can serve as an introduction before diving into Dostoevsky's more complex work. This story teaches us that love doesn't always have to be possessed to give meaning. Sometimes just feeling it for a moment is enough to change our beliefs. And yeah, that's all about my review today. Thank you for watching guys, and I hope it was helpful, and see you in the next review.